Guten Tag. Hey, this is Frau Walker, and I just wanted to go over what my expectations are in class and also what you can do to be really successful in class. So as you can see on the screen, I have started with my classroom rules. I do not agree with the don't do this, don't do that. It already presets a brain into a negative format, and I want my students to be in a positive format. So that way, when they're learning, the learning feels good and not oppressive. Because when learning is oppressive, we're not enjoying it, and therefore our brain isn't taking it in as well. So just a little bit of brain science there for you as to why I use sentences like we respect each other, we're a team, we do our best, we create things, we celebrate each other's successes, and we learn from our mistakes. And in that theater, I incorporate mindset skills very much so into how the class is assessed, or I should say how students are assessed, sorry. And so I put the mindset skills on the screen for you as well. So you can see what are the things, what are the 21st century skills that a person will need to do well, whether they go into public or private industry after they walk across that stage. So the first thing you're going to need to do, especially in this learning environment, is be an effective communicator. And an effective communicator doesn't just mean I can speak well. It also means I am telling you how I feel. I am explaining why I think certain things, and I am open to being communicated to as well. So it's not just about being perfect in German. It's about really working on those communication skills because communication is the key to all good, healthy relationships, whether they be love, whether they be professional, whether they be friendship. It's always going to take good communication. Second big thing is they need to be a global citizen. It's not just about my, I all the time, as the students are often in that kind of brain set when they're coming from middle school. In the high school, it's my job as a teacher to help them understand what empathy means on a global scale. And that's specific to my classroom because we have to understand different cultures and we have to open our heads a little bit to understand why a person may have a certain look about them or why a person may do certain things. And that once again goes back to that open communication. So these things all go hand in hand, as you're going to see. The next one is really specific to my classroom when it comes to the modern classroom project, and that is being a self-directed learner. As all adults know, stuff doesn't get done if we don't do the research that we need to, or we don't do the work that we need to get that done. So self-directed learning is a life skill that everybody needs, no matter who they are. That means that they're going to need to be taking responsibility for their time management skills. They're going to need to have open and honest conversations about their strengths and their weaknesses, which everybody has, in order to better themselves. A lifelong learner is something that I think harkens to our heart on the inside. This is often somebody's hobby or something that they do for themselves with no other motivation than it's going to make them happy. And I think teaching a student to find that early will help them be really successful in their professional life, because we all know as adults that we need to balance our life. So being a lifelong learner will end up making us happy on the inside and produce a better result overall for our income, for our lifestyle, so on and so forth. Last but not least, definitely not least, is being able to problem solve things. It doesn't matter, once again, if you are in the public or private industry, it doesn't matter what kind of a job you have, you are going to need to problem solve issues that arise. And it's not just the, oh, I'm going to throw my hands up in the air and I give up. Because we all know, if we all would have given up at any point in time, we wouldn't be able to do the things that make us happy, right? Sometimes we got to put in that hard work, but problem solving is going to be a big part of my classroom in order to understand how we can work together to reach a common goal. So, all right, so these are the big expectations in my classroom. And the way that I help students assess themselves is by doing this questionnaire every single time we finish a mastery check, I have them sit back and go, wow, what did I learn, not just about German, but what did I learn about myself? And I think that when you put the power of self-evaluation in students' hands, they can use it to their advantage. For example, and I love to tell students this example, parents may hate it, but I was a horrible procrastinator, and a lot of people can relate to that. And I realized that when I do things a little bit at a time, I don't feel so much under the crunch, and therefore it's not, it's not a high stakes thing that I need to finish. And so my brain doesn't put itself completely on that problem. So I have learned, based on who I am, that when I wait to, not to the last second, but when I wait till the deadline, my brain functions a lot better than it normally would. When I am doing things that are far off, then I don't feel that healthy stress or that healthy pressure, and I don't produce as good a content. So I've learned that about myself, and I've incorporated that into my lifestyle to help me do my job better. So that's just a funny little thing. And kids are like, oh, so I can procrastinate? No, you need to do the deep dive into yourself and figure out, what are your true strengths? What are your true weaknesses? And be honest and have that, once again, good conversation with somebody to bounce ideas off. And we all do this on a daily basis. We do this in split second without even thinking of it. We'll be driving down the road and, oh, I should have done this. Or we'll be coming into the house and going, oh, I should have done this. At the grocery store, I should have gotten this. Or we'll be like, you know what? I probably shouldn't have said those things. And we think of those things much later, and our brain learns from that, and we become better people through that constant self-evaluation. So we're just bringing that up to the forefront to help students understand that that's something that our brains are constantly doing. So here are some tips that I thought I'd give you. We'll finish this video out with 4 really big points of tips, sorry, I can't think, tips that you can use to become a really fluent speaker of a native language. And I am a true believer that it doesn't matter who you are, anybody can speak any language they want to, but it takes 4 very important things. It takes engagement. You have to engage yourself. So the modern classroom, a lot of people think, oh, it's just going to be on the computer constantly. No, it's not. It's going to be a less than 9-minute video, maybe even less than 5-minute video on the skill. And then you go to practice and you can refer back to that video, but it's going to be practicing with other people, that participation, that engagement with the language. As silly as it may be, sometimes it may just be listening to a story or watching a movie, or, saying words that you think are funny and sound interesting to your partner. It can be all different kinds of things, but our brain needs all different kinds of engagement in those 4 modes: reading, writing, speaking, listening. And I add culture in there because that once again engages our brain to help relate. Daily practice. Oh my gosh, we definitely need daily practice. I don't see the students every day. So if you think that a student is going to become fluent in 4 years of German when I only see them 2 to 3 times a week, that's not true. It's not going to work like that. They need to work on it daily. And I tell the students, it's powerful. Even just 5 minutes a day is so powerful. I know that everybody needs a brain break, but that's one of the reasons that Duolingo is so successful, because you can do super quick, tiny little lessons, keep your brain in it. And other really good ways to get that daily practice is, when you're watching the Marvels movie, turn on the subtitles in German. Or if you already know the movie, watch the movie in German with the English subtitles to help you make those connections. My grandparents learned English through watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune when they moved to America. So it's a big deal. And I remember, my grandparents were a big fan of 60 Minutes because it would be explaining stuff on the screen with pictures and words. And so, don't knock those films at home. If a student wants to watch Netflix, make them do it in German. Absolutely. It takes commitment. You have to say, okay, this is what I am going to do. And we practice that by using SMART goals in the classroom. So I help students walk through goals, not just daily, but semester and weekly. And then it takes passion. That's why I ask students, why are you in my classroom? And if the answer is, I don't know, or because somebody made me, they're not going to do as well as those people who are like, oh, you know what? It's a part of my family, or my last name's German, so I figured I'd give it a try, or, something as like surface level as that. Obviously, the big motivate the big motivators are love. That's how my father learned German, because he wanted to be able to speak to my mother and or his girlfriend at the time, his girlfriend and their family, and maybe know what they were saying behind his back. um, but you have to figure out why is the reason that you're here. And I have students come to me with all different kinds of passions, like the Autobahn, or they want to learn about Oktoberfest, or they want to study, microbrewery at OSU. And so they wanted to take German because they know that OSU has a program that connects you to master brewers in Germany. Or they heard about the German prison system and how it's open, and they think that that's really interesting. And how do prison systems work if people can come and go, or all different kinds of odd and silly and cool things like that. Or they love European history. Those we have a lot of fun with, because we do a history thing every other year, so that'll be awesome too. But you have to find the passion as well. So these are some tips to becoming fluent. And obviously practicing German in Germany is something that you could do as well. And I am the only teacher at McMinnville High School who offers real home-to-home, family-to-family exchange that happens in the spring and in the summer every other year. So everybody has a chance to go on the gap trip. So thank you very much for listening. And as always, if you have any other questions, please feel free to email me. Auf Wiedersehen.